مدارس عنيزة الأهلية، رؤية جديدة، إدارة واعدة، خبرات تربوية رائدة، خدمات تعليمية متميزة.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم جريد 9 مع درس جديد من دروس الإنجليش. معاكم مس فاطمة سعيد، مدارس عنيزة الأهلية المسار المصري. Today إن شاء الله we're gonna study the transitive and intransitive verbs. What the meaning of transitive and intransitive verbs? Let's see. The transitive verbs is a verb used with a direct object. تكال direct object. Also, it may have an indirect object, which indicates to or for whom the action is done. So again, the transitive verbs may have direct and also indirect object at the same time. Maybe one direct object or direct and indirect object. In other words, a transitive verb is a verb that transmits action to an object. So again, if I want to know what is a transitive verb that the verb needs to have a direct object. Also, it may have an indirect object. So two objects or just one object. Let's take some examples. He sent the letter. Letter here, direct object of sent. Another example. She gave the lecture. Lecture means direct object of gave. So look here, the letter and lecture. Lecture, direct object of gave. The letter, also a direct object of sent. In these sentences, something is being done to an object. Yes, of course, this object is letter in this sentence, and this object is the lecture in this sentence. Great. More explanation about the transitive verbs. A transitive verb can also have an indirect object that precedes or comes before the direct object. So again, what the meaning of these words? If I say, I sent my mother some flowers. So my mother, an indirect, and some flowers, direct. Also, I can say, I send you a message. You, indirect object. A message, direct object. So the indirect objects tell to or for whom the action is done. Although the words to and for are not used. What the meaning of this word? The word to or for. If I say, I sent you a message. Here, did I use to or for? Can I say, I sent for you or to you a message? No. If you use the indirect object before the direct, okay, it will be without to or for. I sent you directly. على طول من غير ما أحط ولا to ولا for, I say, I send you, then the word message. So it's incorrect to say, I send to you a message or I send for you a message. Directly say, I send you a message. So you hear indirect object and a message, direct object. Okay? Go to some examples about the direct and indirect object at one sentence. He sent Robert the letter. The direct object is letter, receives the action sent, this verb. The indirect object, Robert, is the person to whom the letter is sent. So Robert, indirect object, the letter, direct object. Another one. She gave her class the lecture. Again, her class, indirect, the lecture, direct. So again, in other words, I can say the direct object, letter, lecture, receives the action gave. So the indirect object, the class here, indirect, is the group to whom the lecture is given. I think it becomes clear that here class indirect and the lecture direct object. Okay. Now go to intransitive verbs. Doesn't take an object. Now we will speak about intransitive. In the first slide, in the last slide here, we speak about transitive. about transitive. Here we will speak about intransitive verbs. It's very easy to know which is the intransitive verbs. The intransitive verb doesn't take any object. Okay? Like what? Here is an example. She sleeps too much. Where is the object? No object here. She sleeps too much. We describe her sleeps. Just we describe the quantity of her sleeping. She sleeps too much, or she sleeps little. So no object here. Direct or indirect, no place for them here. He complains frequently. بيشتكي دايما باستمرار. He complains. Where is the object? No object. Just I say he complains. Frequently, always, usually, but no object here. Either direct or indirect. Okay, so it's clear that intransitive verb doesn't need any object. So what happen if I add object? يعني لو أنا حطيت هنا object, what will happen? Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. So she sleeps. It's enough? Yes, it's enough to say she sleeps. Is it enough to say he complains a lot or he complains frequently? Yes, it's enough to say this. Okay, now my dear, time for practice. Let's practice these four sentences or questions. Tell me what each sentence is using, a transitive or intransitive. Can you discover or can you identify which sentence is transitive and which sentence is intransitive verb? Let's see question 1. Kenny taught the class. Kenny taught. Taught whom? To the class. So I think you can identify it's a transitive or intransitive. Can I say Kenny taught and full stop? No, it's incomplete sentence. So يبقى أنا كده إذا ما فهمتش حاجة لو قلت Kenny taught and full stop. It doesn't make any sense. But if I say Kenny taught the class, okay, it will be sensible. So transitive or intransitive? Great job. It's transitive verb because it needs an object. This object, the class. Question 2, question 3, and question 4 are homework for you. So please don't forget to send me the answers of question 2, 3, 4. Okay, my dear. And now we have finished our presentation of today. I hope you get benefit from this explanation and presentation. Have a great time and don't forget your homework. Have a great time. Goodbye.